So I'd like to issue an apology today for anyone ever who has gone into a therapist's office with their abusive partner in an attempt to seek help, and that therapist not only dismisses that, but actually arms the abusive partner with more tools and ways to manipulate and harm their spouse or their partner. Emotional and narcissistic abuse is a very, very real experience for a lot of couples. And unfortunately, I can only speak for myself, but I call it out every single time when it's in my office. People who are in these types of relationships and come to therapy for help and not only don't get it, but leave with a partner who's even more emboldened to be harmful is just sad. I've heard far too many stories about therapists not recognizing this. Do better.
So first and foremost, this is her page. You're going to check her out right there. Licensed therapy, 20 years of experience. But coming from the perspective of a diagnosed narcissist, she's absolutely correct, y'all. Because not every single therapist is equipped to deal with a toxic, manipulative, narcissistic person. They're just not. And this is not me trying to be disparaging or disrespectful towards therapists. I myself have been in psychotherapy for almost 7 years, and I would not be where I am today without it. But in my own personal life, y'all, although I've been in psychotherapy for 7 years, I went to marriage counseling with my wife about 3.5 years ago, right? And the marriage counselor, she asked us, she's like, have either of you gone to therapy before or been diagnosed with anything? I said, hey, look, I've actually been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. And she was like, okay. And then she just moved on. In my mind, I was like, oh, the narcissistic part of me was like, oh, she doesn't know who you are. She doesn't know what you have going on mentally and emotionally. She doesn't know what she's up against. So my mind saw it as a challenge. But me being in therapy already, working on myself, I already knew I was there to actually put work in. But you can see somebody else in my position that knows that I've been toxic, that knows that I've been emotionally abusive, how I can manipulate that situation to my benefit, to try to paint myself as the victim, to try to paint myself as being misunderstood, or you don't hear what I'm saying and she doesn't listen to me, and like she just rolls over top of me and nothing I say ever matters. You see how that works right there? And I had the marriage counselor in there laughing, and I was just charming her. It wasn't very hard. And I'm not trying to say I had a bad marriage counselor. She just didn't know what she was up against mentally. Thankfully, I was actually there to put the work in and to listen and to actually work on my marriage, because, we still married to this day. We're still, pushing forward now. But you can see in that situation, if the therapist is not equipped to deal with this narcissistic person and you go in there, one person is like, you can end up getting ganged up on by the therapist and your toxic, narcissistic, abusive partner or spouse. Imagine you going in there seeking help because your partner is being lying to you and cheating on you and manipulating you and trying to make it seem like they are the victim. And you go to therapy, to go to marriage counselor, and the marriage counselor is just like, but how do you think that makes them feel? Yeah, they cheated, but why did they really cheat? You see? And not only that, now this toxic narcissistic person has what people refer to as therapy speak. Now they can go out there and just be like, I told you I was right. I told you. Now look, I'm correct, and you were wrong in this situation right here. I'm glad she brought up gaslighting, because you've been gaslighting me for a long time. I'm the victim. I told you I was the victim. Now you're feeling even more defeated, because me personally, I don't think marriage counseling works if both people are not actually trying to put the work in. If one person is just trying to save it and the other person is trying to play the victim, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Like, I've been in psychotherapy. The only reason mine actually worked because I wanted it to put the work in, right? And I've been in therapy myself. My wife goes to her own therapist, and we combine and tag team in marriage counseling to work on our communication issues and being able to communicate better and understand each other better, right? A narcissist is not looking to try to understand you. They're looking to try to enforce their will upon you and to try to get people on their side. So they can be toxic, abusive, and yelling and screaming at you in the car. And as soon as you sit down in that marriage counseling chair, they be like, hey, therapist, I'm having a great day. Oh, here they go again, getting emotional. Nothing happened. It was a crazy car ride here. I was trying to be quiet and save my feelings, but here, now they're crying. Gotcha. Be very careful before deciding to go to marriage counseling with your toxic, narcissistic, abusive partner, because I know how people think. You're just like, I want to make sure that I don't leave any stones unturned, because I know how the mindset. I know the toxic abusiveness. I know, I want to make sure I gave it my all. Y'all, your all could cost you. Because sometimes when you go in there, shame is a great provocation for narcissists, right? Sometimes you go in there and tell the therapist what that narcissistic person has been doing to you, and you embarrass them, and now you put yourself in danger. Because the car ride home is going to be, it could end your life. They could be driving home crazy as hell, speeding in and out of traffic, threatening to run. You embarrassed me in therapy. I'm going to run my Subaru into that oak tree. Y'all, they don't want to deal with it. But be very careful, because sometimes going to therapy can cost you. I'm serious. Look, Lee, you're being a hypocrite. You went to marriage counseling. I'm trying to tell you how I could have defeated the counselor in my marriage counseling session if I wanted to. If that was my goal. That's what I'm trying to convey to you. You can call me a hypocrite, but I'm just telling you, hey, it's your life. You get to live it how you want to live it, and you live it as long as you want to. That's my piece.